Welcome to the Online Sales Mentor Podcast, where we help you grow, build, and automate your Amazon business. And now your host, who in high school thought Funky Cold Medina would make him famous, Franklin Medina.
This is the Online Sales Mentor Podcast with Franklin Medina, session number 53. What's up, Amazon Seller Nation? Thank you so much, guys, for taking time out of your day to listen to my show. It really means a whole lot to me, and I value and appreciate you guys a whole lot. So wherever you are, the fact that you're tuning in is what keeps me cranking these shows out. So thanks for making me a part of your day. For those of you that are listening to my podcast for the very first time, this is the podcast where I answer, cover, and share everything you need to grow, build, and automate your Amazon business. If for whatever reason you missed an episode, you can simply go to the OnlineSalesMentor.com website, and on the podcast tab, you can click on any of the archived podcasts you may have missed. So let's get started. Hey, what's up, guys? Wanted to create another episode full of value for you guys. Well, I hope it's full of value. As you all know, I am constantly testing new theories out, testing new strategies out to see what works and what doesn't work so that I can share with you guys, my listeners. And today I wanted to share with you guys how I went from paying $3 per lead on pay-per-click down to 32 cents per lead. And this is something that I've been testing for quite a bit, and I'm still working on really getting in all the data, but so far it seems extremely promising. And I wanted to share with you guys, my listeners, because it's extremely important that we all pay close attention to our advertising campaigns. Not all advertising campaigns are created equal, and not all are successful and make sense. So I wanted to make sure that I shared my journey and at least shared what's going on in my pay-per-click campaign so that you guys can get really an insight view into, what the real numbers are behind advertising and using pay-per-click. Now, I've been since the beginning, I started, my journey, with my private label product, really with my pay-per-click campaign from day one. And I've shared that journey with you guys so that you guys can see if it's at all possible to really rank your product from the get-go just on a strong pay-per-click campaign. Now, I was pretty successful because I made it to page 1 in about 3 weeks, which was awesome. However, that came at a price. That came at a hefty price, right? Because my pay-per-click expense has increased from what I started out in the beginning, which was about $400 to $500, to roughly about $1,500 per month. That's the number that I'm currently paying today in my pay-per-click campaign. Now, every month I kind of go over and I review, whether my campaign was successful or not, whether I'm making money or not, what this situation is, and, whether I need to pivot and make, a few adjustments here and there to determine whether I should continue with my pay-per-click campaign or if there are other ways that I can really rank my keywords better and more effective so that you really, at the end of the day, I can put my extra funds into purchasing more product rather than giving it to Amazon on a campaign that's probably not as effective, as it should be. And you hear a lot of times where a lot of different, sellers on Amazon will say, well, you can actually go into the red and it's fine if you go into the red and, your ACOS is a break even. Yeah, but that only tells part of the story. So I hope that today I'm going to share with you guys, at least from my perspective, the entire story. I'm going to share with you guys exactly what I've been doing, what my sales are, what my sales were for the month of August, and, give you guys a really detailed breakdown so that you can see that I was really overpaying for my clicks. So the number that, my advertising cost, the number that Amazon was actually telling me that it was costing me per click was really not the real number. So I'm going to dig deep and show you guys exactly what those numbers were. So for the month of August, I sold a total for my one private label product. I sold $9,399.73 worth of product. That was a total of 604 units. Now, I have to deduct from that 144 units that I gave away as part of our, product promo launch, to be able to actually increase my, boost my sales velocity to be able to rank better and to be able to really, work my way up through the search engine and through the pages, right? So I wanted to make sure that I kept my ranking, that if anything, I improved it. So part of that was giving away 144 units to be able to continue that sales velocity and continue that boosting my keywords. But that all came at a cost, right? Because my net units sold for the month after I deducted at 144 units were 460 units. Now, my total clicks for the month were 901 clicks for a total spend of $1,431.64. So if you take that $1,431.64 and you divide it by 901 clicks, the number that Amazon gives you is that it costs you $1.59 per click. But as you can see in this case, I didn't generate 901 sales. I generated not even 604 sales. I really generated 460 sales. Okay, so it was almost half of that amount. So half of what the clicks were actual sales. So if I'm actually using my calculator here, so that's why I'm taking a few pauses here. But if I actually took the number of the expense, the $1,431.64, that total number, and I divide it not by 604, but by actually 460, right? I'm gonna get what is it? It's 1431.64 divided by 460. It's actually costing me $3.11 per sales order, right? Per order. In addition to this is in addition to my free giveaways, right? So let's exclude the free giveaways. If I just took my advertising, cost of $1,431.64 and divided it by the net unit sales of 460 units, right? That was, and again, I'm attributing the pay-per-click campaign to those sales, right? Whether they were organic or not, I'm going to attribute those sales to those clicks, right, at this point. So there could be some organic sales in there. I don't know what that number is at this point because I didn't break it down any further. But if I just took that $1,431 expense, my cost for advertising, and I divided it by 460, I'm going to get a $3.11 per customer. Okay. Now, I'm generating roughly about for the month of August, I was generating roughly about $10 in profit per unit, give or take. And that $10 per unit, it started out at $7 in the beginning of the month, but then I moved it up to $10. I increased my price. So I was at about $10 per profit. So that's about $7 per profit per unit. Okay. Now, it's quite expensive. If I took that $3.11 per lead, that's pretty expensive to pay for a lead on any social platform. If you were paying that on Craigslist, on Facebook or on Twitter or on Pinterest or on any of those advertising platforms, or even on Facebook, Twitter, or Pinterest, which are the three big ones, or even on Google, right? If I was paying $3.11 per lead, I think I would get a lot of people that would tell me that I'm insane paying that much for a lead. Now, if you're selling a high volume product, that's fine. But for a $24 product is really a lot to pay. That comes out to, divided by 24, that comes out to like 13%. 24 times 13, that comes out to about 13%, which a lot of people will tell you that, 13% for advertising costs on revenue is not bad. But, in the world of social media where, you want to be anywhere around 20, 30 cents, 40 cents a lead, which is the ideal, at least my ideal number, right? It's a lot of money because I've paid for leads before on different platforms. I was paying, I believe, like 14 cents per click on Twitter, right? Which wasn't bad. I was paying a little bit more for, a lot more for leads on Facebook. Facebook really didn't work out too great for me, at least for my product, to generate leads for my product, but because it was a little bit pricey. But what I did was that I implemented a strategy where even within Amazon, I was able to get my clicks down from $3.11 per customer down to 32 cents per customer. Now, you heard me right, guys. I got it down from $3.11 per customer down to 32 cents per customer. Now, I really had to battle Amazon for that, but I finally beat them out on that and I won. And I'll explain to you guys how I was able to do that. And I think I've shared with you guys in previous podcasts, or maybe on some forums, especially Facebook, the private Facebook group that I have. I've shared this strategy a lot, where I purchase a product that's within my category, that is a brand product that I can buy, and at a price that I can sell, at a break-even point on Amazon. Now, what happened over the last couple days was that I purchased about 400 units of this particular product, and I started at $8.78 because that's what Amazon was selling it for. Now, what happened was that, Amazon started battling me for the buy box, right? And I would, for the last day and a half, I would reduce my price by 2 cents. So we went all the way from $8.78 all the way down to $6.75. Now at $6.75, I'm losing 32 cents per click. Okay, but I was able. That was the magic number to obtain the buy box. So quickly, as soon as I obtained the buy box, I sold like 30 units within a couple hours. Now, I've sold this product before, and I've sold roughly about 80 to 100 units per day. So these 400 units I anticipate will probably be gone within the next 2 to 3 days. So I'm losing 32 cents per unit, but here's where the magic comes in. I'm obtaining 400 customers for 32 cents on Amazon, where on pay-per-click, right, it was costing me on pay-per-click $3.11 to obtain that same customer. Okay, so for 32 cents, I was able to battle Amazon out for this buy box. Right now, within a couple of hours, I've already sold 30 units, and I anticipate by the end of the day, I'll probably sell around 80 to 100 per day. And that's the going rate. It has a sales rank of about 300, which is really, really low, and it's really good. So, I should be able to blow these out within the next 2 to 3 days. Now, what's going to happen is this, and this is where my strategy comes in. Those are 400 customers that are buying a product that goes with my product, my private label product. It goes extremely well with my private label product, right? So what is going to happen here? I'm going to then contact those customers and offer them a coupon code, okay, for whatever amount I decide to do it, whether, I can probably start out at, 40 unit, 40% off, maybe 50% off. I can even go as high as 80% off, but I'm going to test the market and maybe go in there and offer them at 50% off, which will cover my cost, right? Maybe make me a little bit of money. Or I can offer it at maybe, 30% off and make a little bit of money on it, right? So bottom line is that I've obtained, I'm going to obtain 400 instant customers, okay, for 32 cents versus the $3.11 that it cost me through a pay-per-click campaign. Now, the beauty about this is that I can easily send them a super URL if I wanted to, right? you know, I know there's this whole thing about super URLs, and, you know, there's debate whether it's allowable, it's not allowed. You know, look, at the end of the day, if Amazon wanted to block super URLs, all they have to do is write a script that makes it useless, right? So, you know, I don't see, they haven't said anything in their terms of service regarding super URLs. So I will continue using it until they tell me, you know, that, you know, I shouldn't be using it. I don't think they're going to close my account. Well, at least I hope they don't close my account simply because I use a super URL. I'm hoping that they just, at the end of the day, maybe give me a slap on the wrist if they've deemed that that's, you know, that I shouldn't be using the super URL, and, you know, call it a day, right? So, look, how else are we going to rank for keywords? I mean, if you think about it, you know, there's really no other way that you can really rank for keywords other than pay-per-click, right? And that's costing me $3.11. So I'm willing to test the market a little bit, you know, continue using the super URLs, not on a heavy way, but on a light, you know, in a light manner. And I intend to send out, you know, drip these emails like 20 a day or something like that, you know. So what is it going to do for me? It's going to allow me to really focus on those keywords. And what I've done is that I've turned off pay-per-click just for the month of September while I test this theory out. I've turned off pay-per-click, and I intend to boost my listing through super URLs and sending these keywords out to these particular customers that I've acquired through Amazon, because Amazon allows you to contact them so long as you're not giving them a URL that's an external link to some other website. But if you're sending them back to Amazon and you are, you know, you're giving them a coupon for a product that's on Amazon, totally cool, totally within Amazon's terms of service, so long as I do not ask for a review or a feedback, you know, for that product, which I intend not to do, you know, because I don't think Amazon distinguishes between, you know, asking for a review today or asking for a review in 7 days. Bottom line, you're still asking for a review. So I intend to not ask for a review, but in lieu, what I'm obtaining here, what I'm getting here is really, you know, boosting my keywords for that particular product. So what I'm testing is the theory whether I can increase my way on through the rankings through through sales velocity, right? If I sell 20 to 30 units a day continuously, and on top of that, they're using my super URL, so it's giving me that boost for that particular keyword or keywords, right, that I'm trying to rank for. Okay, and it's also lowering my costs because when I sell the product, if I determine that I'm going to sell it for a profit, depending on the amount of coupon, the amount of discount that I'm going to give, that 32 cents that is costing me, or that it cost me to acquire that customer, I will make it up on that sale. Okay, and because I'm not going to give this customer a free product, you know, or a really heavily discounted product, you know, I'm going to make some money on this product. I'm going to make up those 32 cents on the sale of my product. Even if at the end of the day, I only make $4, $5, you know, and I got to, you know, factor in that 32 cents cost, it's a win-win scenario for me. And if I don't have to incur the expense of a PPC campaign, and I see that my for the month of September, I see that my listing improves in the search rankings, and it improves for the keywords that I'm trying to rank for, then maybe I might decide not to turn on PPC for this particular listing again, right? It all depends how the strategy goes and whether I get an email from Amazon saying, hey, you know, what you're doing is not allowed. Okay, then hopefully they won't, you know, they'll just give me a warning and tell me you need to stop doing what you're doing, you know, which again, I'm trying to stay within Amazon's terms of service. But, you know, the super URL is what everyone is questioning. I don't think it's a big deal with the super URL. Again, it's an Amazon link. And if Amazon, you know, wanted to stop these links from being, you know, generated or have any effectiveness, they will, they'll create some script where when you email the link, it won't work or something like that, right? So, they have the ability to really implement these things. And from what I understand, speaking to other people who blast their products and, continue implementing strategies with the super URL, they're still doing it, and there's, it doesn't seem to have been affected whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. So, again, I'm not too concerned about that. Now, there's a lesson to be learned here, which I hope you guys can really take note of. Now, the lesson here to be learned is that you need to make sure that you really pay attention to your numbers, okay? Because if you look at just your advertising expense, and based on what it's costing you per click, that is not the true number, right? You have to see how much sales you're getting, above and beyond, any promotions that you give away. You want to see what that total number is, and then divide that expense by that total number and see what your true, cost to acquire that customer is. Because at the end of the day, if you're only making $5 and it's costing you $3, you're in a money losing proposition, right? And you did it, really just to get, to rank better for keywords. So the question is there a better way to rank for keywords rather than incurring that expense, And again, I rather spend 32 cents by beating out Amazon, right, for that buy box, and acquire that customer inside of my account that I can then tap later on to provide a promo for a similar product, okay? And any future products that I launch that's within that same category, I now have that customer that I can reach out to and say, hey, here's a coupon code. Thank you for being a loyal customer. Here's a coupon code for, 20% off, 30% off for this product. We hope you enjoy. Thank you very much. Whatever. And here's the link. Here's the coupon code. Here's the link. And, just make sure you enter that coupon code at checkout, and you'll get your 30% off, right? Something to that effect. And now I have a customer rather than paying $3.11 for that same customer, right? Because at the end of the day, a customer is a customer. If I was to advertise on, say, on Facebook or on Twitter or on Pinterest, all I'm doing is trying to acquire an email. It doesn't mean that that customer or that email that I acquire is going to convert into a customer on Amazon, right? There's no guarantee, right? They might decide not to, they might sign up for your list, but they decided they don't want the product, or they're not interested, or they don't move on it, they don't act on it, whatever, right? But what I'm acquiring is a customer, and if you can acquire that same customer on social media for 32 cents, then I would do that all day long. But, for the most part, the only place where it's cost me 14 cents was on Twitter, and they weren't great leads. Like, at the end of the day, even if I offered them a coupon code, a lot of them didn't act on it. So the conversion was very low. But by tapping into a customer that's on Amazon already, that already purchased from me, that's a very warm lead, maybe a hot lead, simply because they trust me, they know me, they purchased from me already. They're going to open my email simply because it's from Amazon and they conduct business with Amazon, right? So they're going to open that email, and if they see a really good coupon code for another product that's within the category that you're selling, then it just makes that sale a higher, the opportunity to convert that customer into another purchase for that other product is much, much higher than if you acquired that customer through a social media list. And yes, there's that other factor where, everyone will tell you, hey, listen, now, you have another you have a customer, you have an email address, outside of Amazon. Yes, you do. But do you think that customer will probably go to your website and purchase from you, versus going to Amazon in the future and just buying from if say, for example, we all got kicked out of Amazon, right? I would say that person would just go to the next person online on Amazon because they trust Amazon. Amazon has Prime service. Amazon has all of these things that we probably couldn't offer on our own website, right? So what are the chances that even if you obtained an email list of 100 people, what are the chances that customer is going to transition over to a website outside of Amazon? Let me tell you, I probably wouldn't do it because, the offer has to be extremely good for me to purchase on a website outside of Amazon because, again, I know and I trust Amazon and I love Amazon, right? We all do. I mean, they have so much to offer. If I have any issues, I just call them. I can return it within 30 days. Even within 60 days, sometimes they'll take it back from you. So, that kind of stuff, it's hard to match. If you're a small business selling on a website and you got to be extremely competitive on price because on Amazon you're going up against stiff competition. So look, there's a lot to say pros and cons to both. I'm not focused on creating this external list at this point in the game. I'm not. I'm more concerned. I'm more focused on building my brand and building my business and lowering my cost of acquisition, right? My cost of advertising, my cost, to, whether I'm going to market outside or not, I want to reduce my cost so that at the end of the day, there's more profit, for every sale that I make. So, this is a lesson that I hope that you guys take note of because, at least for me, my cost per acquisition was around $3.11 instead of the $1.59 per click, because that's not a true number. That just tells me how many 901 people clicked on my ad. But at the end of the day, I only got 460 sales out of that, right? So if we take 460, divided by 901, 460 divided by 901, that's about a 51%, right? Ratio. But again, there might have been in that number, that 460, I didn't break it down any further to give you guys, the number that resulted from, clicks to sales to clicks, right? So whoever clicked on that ad, how many sales did I generate? And then the balance would have been organic sales. So I just threw it all in there because at the end of the day, it's that total number I'm interested. So if I took that, again, $1,431.64, and I divided it by that total number, right, whether it's organic or they clicked on, that's still a number that I spent out of pocket. So at the end of the day, that acquisition or that total number of units sold, I have to tack on or deduct that $3.11 that it cost me to advertise, right? So that's a high number that I am not comfortable with, and that's why I made this decision to take the route that I'm taking, because I really want to see whether I can rank my listing by offering other products that are in my category that are brand products. It could be anything. Like, I'm going to give you an example. Let's do the vegetable slicer, which I use quite a bit of times, right? Now, I can decide that I'm going to sell dishwashing liquid. And I've used this analogy before. If you guys have heard it, I'm sorry, but I'm going to repeat it. Let's say if I purchase dishwashing liquid, right? Now, dishwashing liquid, if you have a vegetable slicer, you got to clean it, right? And for the most part, you're going to use dishwashing liquid to clean it. So, it might not be the best product to combine with this vegetable slicer, but I know that I can buy this dishwashing liquid for a price that I can be the #1 seller on Amazon. Even if Amazon's on there, I can compete and break even. Worst case scenario, lose a few cents. Like similar to my case where I lost about 32 cents per customer. So, so for example, so I'll purchase this Palmolive dishwashing liquid, and then I'll sell it, right? So once I sell it on Amazon, that's an acquired customer, right? So at the end of the day, I might have lost maybe 32 cents per unit. Let's use that for the example, 32 cents per unit. However, if I purchase 400 to 500 units, that's 400 to 500 customers, new customers. Then soon afterwards, I then contact those customers on Amazon and say, thank you for your order. As a small gift, as our token of appreciation, here's a small gift. Here's a coupon code for one of our other products on Amazon. And here's a 30% coupon code. And, again, provide the super URL link on there and say, thanks again. We hope you enjoy. Thanks again for your business. The end, right? So now I send, those 400 to 500 customers this 30% off. Okay. Now, what if, I don't know what the results, what the results can be, because it can be different for everyone, right? I've tried this before and I've had amazing results. But let's say if you get 40%, okay, 40%, if you're making, say, $3, with the 30% discount, let's say you're making, $3 or $4 profit instead of $8, $9 profit, right? That $4 profit, $4 profit, you deduct your 32 cents and you're still making money. And not only that, you just created some sales velocity in your account, which is going to increase your ranking. Not only that you create sales ranking, but also those keywords are now going to get spiked simply because Amazon is going to see that you used, 100 customers used this keyword, another 150 customers used that keyword, and 100 other customers used, that other keyword. Now, this all means that you feel comfortable using a super URL. If you're not comfortable with that strategy, you can always remove the super URL, provide the regular link, right? The regular link, Amazon link to your product, and just bank on sales velocity, right? Just bank on sales velocity. So you can always do that, and then hopefully you'll have enough sales velocity where Amazon will rank your listing organically. They'll determine, they'll say, okay, this customer is, making sales, and let's rank them for this keyword, right? That's totally out of your control. But then you can do later on, you can use a service where you can do a reverse ASIN search, and then you can see which keywords are generating the best sales in your account. And then you can then take, or which ones you're ranking for number one. And then you can decide you're going to put that in a pay-per-click campaign if you wanted to, right? If you wanted to go back to pay-per-click. Bottom line, guys, here is that this is a strategy that everyone and anyone can implement. So it's up to you to determine whether, you're comfortable enough to implement this strategy, or if you're, you can go the route that I went and, let it cost you $3.11 per customer, but you got to make sure that you're pricing your products at, at least $10 so that it makes it worthwhile. And again, we're not counting here the free promos, right? That's an expense that you have to feel comfortable with if you're going to give away at a price where you're not going to make money. If you're going to give promos where you're going to give just 30%, right? Just a 30% discount and say, okay, out of 500 customers, if I get, a 20% conversion, for the 30%, I'll take that all day long. Then at that point, you're making money on your promos, because, you're not giving them away for free or at cost. You're making money on the deal. And I would implement that strategy all day long, right? I would purchase 400 or 500 units, sell that. As soon as I get them, send them a promo, and put that. You can even put that on an email sequence, right? So it does it automatically. So you don't even have to worry about it. It just does it automatically. You can do that on an email sequence. The only issue is that you have to make sure that you're using single-use coupon codes. So you have to sort of figure out a way to do that. Now, there are ways to do that, and that's for another episode. but there are ways to implement that and do that. But I'm not going to get into that now. But just think of the strategy and the theory of, you know, how if you were getting a 20 to 30% conversions on 500 customers that you obtained, you know, it will probably more than pay for that loss that you're taking on each unit. You're going to make it up on those 20, 30% sales and maybe more. Okay, guys? So I'm going to end it there. I hope that, you know, this opened up some eyes for you guys. It is going to help, you know, is going to allow you to look at your strategy and look at your campaigns at the end of every month, or, you know, bi-monthly, however you look at it, and, you know, make some changes, you know, and look at it maybe a little differently now, right? Not sort of the same way. Look at it and say, am I really being profitable with my campaigns? Am I spending too much money? You know, how much is it really costing me to acquire that customer? You know, these are all things that you have to ask yourself, and, you know, you have to make the decision whether you need to change your strategy or not. You know, so, you know, I'm okay with sacrificing, but when you're sacrificing too much, you know, it might not make some sense. You then have to pivot and make some changes. All right, guys. Well, listen, if you want to follow me on Periscope, you can go to www.onlinesalesmentor.com/Periscope. And as soon as, you know, actually you'll be signing up for an email list, right? And on that email list, you'll get email reminders when when I'm going to go live on my next Periscope. However, you can decide that you can just go to Periscope and add me, and you can follow me at Amazon Course. So that's Amazon Course. You can follow me on Periscope, and you'll get a notice when I'm live. All right, guys, and I'm going to be doing some really fun, exciting stuff there. So I hope to see you guys soon there. I did one already, and I'm going to be putting out some more in the near future. All right, guys. Well, if you want to learn to sell on Amazon, or if you want to just join Amazon, join our free course, right? To get access to our free course, over 53 plus videos selling on Amazon, just go to www.onlinesalesmentor.com and click on the free join free course, and you'll get access to all 53 videos. And if you can, guys, leave me a review. I appreciate it immensely. Thank you so much for everything you guys do. Now, I did want to mention, I'm going to probably start doing this maybe a little more, and I try to have just one podcast episode where you know, I thank some of our listeners, but I wanted to thank our last, you know, the last reviewer on iTunes. His name is Lloyd KW. He says, outstanding resource, 5 stars. Franklin is doing a hell of a service for us sellers by taking the time required to put these podcasts and educational tools together. He provides great insights into the ever-evolving world of Amazon FBA selling, and I will continue to be a big fan. And we have Gunnar Kiley. Informative information, 5 stars. If you haven't subscribed or listened, you have to try Frank out. Lots of useful info in his podcast. All right, guys. Well, listen, thank you, Gunnar Kiley, and thank you, Lloyd KW. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys for being fans, and I hope you guys got a lot out of this episode. I love you guys. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Online Sales Mentor Podcast at www.onlinesalesmentor.com, where we help you grow, build, and automate your Amazon business.